coming out today. We appreciate seeing you here. Well, today marks the 43rd anniversary of Earth Day. Earth Day was started as a national teach-in to raise environmental awareness after the 1969 Santa Barbara blowout and 10-day oil spill into the Pacific Ocean. Capitalizing on an actively engaged public who spent the previous decade fighting for civil rights and opposing the war in Vietnam, on April 22, 1970, 20 million people participated in coast-to-coast events. This activism and awareness led to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and the Endangered Species Act. All of these under a Republican administration, the administration of Richard Nixon. This was the golden age of the environmental movement. In 1976, Jimmy Carter was elected president. After suffering from embargoes and gas rationing earlier in the 70s, President Carter delivered a national energy policy speech on April 20th, 1977. The plan was essentially to reduce the use of oil and gas through conservation and efficiency of automobiles and to develop renewable and essentially inexhaustible sources of energy for sustained economic growth. Jimmy Carter established a weatherization program which created jobs, insulated homes for poor people. He placed solar panels on the White House roof to produce hot water. He established the Solar Energy Research Institute to develop photovoltaic solar cells and set a goal of 20% of energy from renewable sources by the year 2000. Just imagine where we would be today if we had continued with the Carter energy policy. Pardon me. Despite its promising beginning, the environmental movement has suffered serious setbacks. Earth Day was co-opted by corporations, and large events in places like Philadelphia became showcases for them to show how green they were. Ronald Reagan was elected president in 1980. His energy policy plan of July 17, 1981 stated that our problems were not as bad as the previous administration had projected, and insisted the free market was sufficient to provide individual choices and judgments to produce the proper balance of supply and demand. Oil prices dropped temporarily and complacency set in. In 1986, President Reagan took down the solar panels former President Jimmy Carter had placed on the White House roof to produce hot water. More recently, Congress passed the Energy Policy Act of 2005. There was no place for solar or wind, no place for conservation and efficiency. Instead, the Clean Water Act and the Safe Drinking Water Act were amended to allow fracking, and Pennsylvania was invaded by the shale army. In the last couple of years, we have experienced unprecedented disasters. Please note the proximity of these events to Earth Day. On April 20th, 2010, the BP Deepwater Horizon explosion and oil spill, the largest accidental marine oil spill in the history of the petroleum industry, dwarfed the 10-day Santa Monica oil spill that spawned Earth Day. This spill flowed unabated for 3 months, discharging over 200 million gallons of oil. On March 11, 2011, Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster resulted in a meltdown and release of nuclear emissions that continue to this day. In March of this year, an Exxon pipeline ruptured, spilling 5,000 barrels of oil in Mayflower, Arkansas. What more evidence do we need to see that our energy policy is taking us down a path of destruction? Yet environmentalists are vilified in propaganda movies, and environmentalism is the new communism. Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein had a program called the Green New Deal. And this is what we really need to create jobs and reinvigorate our economy through a green economy, through installation of solar panels, wind generation, and so forth. We're here today across the street from the Department of Environmental Protection Agency because they've been complicit in this failed energy policy. We are here to demand that the DEP lives up to its mission. And that mission reads as follows: to protect Pennsylvania's air, land, and water from pollution, and to provide for the health and safety of its citizens through a cleaner environment. We will work as partners with individuals, organizations, governments, and businesses to prevent pollution and restore our natural resources. Well, DEP, we are here. We're willing to work with you to achieve these goals, but we are not willing to work with you to continue fracking Pennsylvania. Now, Diane mentioned a number of these, but I'm going to go over again. We are a coalition. We have about 5 or 6 groups represented here today, from the Green Party, the Northeastern group of the Sierra Club, the Gas Drilling Awareness Coalition, Citizens for Clean Water, Frack Mountain, and others. But we're just a small part of a coalition of over 60 organizations that are holding rallies across the Commonwealth at all 6 regional DEP offices. So we stand in solidarity with them today. And again, this list of demands was put together by that coalition, and I will read them once more. To ensure that DEP's mission is followed, we demand that Governor Corbett appoint an environmental advocate without industry ties as DEP secretary. No more permits for gas wells, compressor stations, pipelines, water withdrawals, and other infrastructure related to fossil fuel extraction. No more toxic secrets, full disclosure of water tests and other studies done by DEP. We demand justice for those harmed by the oil and gas industry. And we demand that Governor Corbett reopen the DEP Office of Energy and Technology Deployment to develop solar, wind, and other renewable energy technologies. And again, I would like to conclude by thanking the Gas Drilling Awareness Coalition, the Northeastern group of the Pennsylvania Sierra Club, Frack Mountain, Citizens for Clean Water, and last but not least, the Green Party of Luzerne County. I would also like to say that we do have petitions. If you would like to sign a petition that we can present to DEP with our listed demands, we can circulate that. If you'd like more information about the Green Party, we have information on the table. There's Sierra Club, we have information on the table over there. You're welcome to take that information. And thanks again for everybody for coming out. Happy Earth Day.
Hi, glad to see you all out here today. Just to do a little background on Earth Day, Earth Day was credited to Gaylord Nelson, a U.S. Senator from Wisconsin. After he witnessed the ravages of the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill, he called for an environmental teach-in. His modest idea quickly grew, and on Wednesday, April 22nd, 1970, the first official Earth Day was held. 43 years later, and held in over 140 countries, Earth Day continues to bring real people together to celebrate this amazing planet, and more importantly, to work together to save this amazing planet. And here we are again, Earth Day, Monday, April 22nd, 2013, and the threats to our planet, our lives, are even more dire. We can point to greedy corporations and blame them. We can rail about politicians who talk a lot but do little. We can shake our fists at ineffectual government agencies. But when you came here today, you made a choice, and that's what I want to talk about. You chose to be a participant of Earth Day. You chose to stand with others who share the same concerns, the same worries, and seek the same answers. This is what it comes down to: choice. What do you choose? I choose fresh air. I choose air that flows easily and freely. What do you choose? I choose pure water. I choose water that nourishes the land and all that lives on it. What do you choose? I choose healthy land. I choose land where life is able to flourish. What do you choose? I choose a clean world. I choose a clean world for myself, my family, my town, my state, my country, and for my world. And to this end, I choose to make Earth Day every day. I choose to be involved, to do what is needed to create a clean world. Do you want fresh air, pure water, a healthy land, clean world? Then choose to make every day Earth Day. Find a group in your area. If none exists, start one. Educate and learn what you can do each and every day to make this a clean world. The choice is yours. What do you choose? Thank you all for coming, and I hope you choose to join me in making this a clean world.
Okay, we're going to turn the program over to Don, but before we do, I'd like to make 2 Earth Day commemorations that are somewhat personal, but I feel that I should share them with my friends. April 22nd, since 1970, has been recognized as Earth Day. But this day would also have been my dad's 84th birthday. We lost him on Father's Day weekend 10 years ago. So, you know, I'd like to just send out a happy birthday to my pop, whom I miss greatly. And missing equally, 7 years ago on Earth Day, my dear brother and good friend, co-chair of the Luzerne County Green Party for years and years, Harold Phoenix, passed away of a horrible cancer and after a rough and courageous fight. So before we turn it over to Don, I would just ask for 30 seconds of silence and goodwill in memory of Harold Phoenix, lost 7 years ago today. Thank you.
The Ospreys have been fighting for a long time to survive, but it became a bigger song. Once I started writing this song, I started thinking about our whole world. You can't separate one place from another. You can't separate Pennsylvania from New York, from Maryland. You can't separate the water from the air. It's all one thing. So this is called Mother Earth.
What about you and
land for Mother Earth. Oh, Mother Earth, lend a hand to your Mother Earth. What about the horseshoe crab? What about the once plentiful shad? What about the leopard and the butterfly? The shark that's thrown back into the sea to die? What about our daughters and our sons? What about the salmon on his final run? What about the beauty of the polar caps that are melting away, they ain't never coming back? Who will stand for Mother Earth? Who will fight for her rebirth? Who will pay the price for what she's worth? Who will stand for Mother Earth? Will you stand for Mother Earth? Take a stand for Mother Earth. Lend a hand to your Mother Earth. Oh, Mother Earth, take a stand for Mother Earth. Oh, Mother Earth, protect the land for Mother Oh, Mother Earth. Thank you. A song for Mother Earth. Our day we commemorate Mother Earth.